Coming up this afternoon, Tema Regional Police Command warns Homowo celebrants against violence. Also, poor roads disrupt movement in Kpone Katamanso as residents demand urgent solution. And the Asantehene Otumfuo II warns against politicizing health projects as he calls for better infrastructure maintenance across Ghana. We've got details of these and more. Please stay with us. Grateful for your company once again, and with tensions often associated with some Homowo rituals, the Tema Police Command is urging celebrants to maintain peace and avoid confrontations. The police is warning that anyone who uses the festivities as a cover for violence or criminal activity will be dealt with in accordance with the law. DCOP Eric Asamoah is the Tema Regional Police Commander.
As we approach the Homowo festival season, traditional rulers, priests and priestesses will involve the performance of their rituals, customs and traditions preceding, during and after the Homowo festivities. Others will sprinkle their traditional food, Kpone. There have been attacks and counter-attacks and confrontations as to who sprinkled the traditional food that leads to violence and breach of the peace. On this note, I wish to remind all residents that the celebration should be marked by peace, unity, and respect for the law. We urge celebrants to avoid acts of violence, unnecessary confrontations, disorderly conduct, and activities that may endanger public safety. The police will provide adequate security throughout the festival period and will take firm action against persons who engage in criminal conduct under the guise of festival celebrations. To armed robbers, drug peddlers, violence offenders, and all persons engaged in criminal activities within the Tema region, our message is simple and clear. The Tema Regional Police Command remains resolute, vigilant, and fully committed to combating crime. We have strengthened intelligence gathering, patrols, and collaboration with other security agencies. There will be no heaven for criminals within the region.
Now let's explore the issue of festivities and violence much further. Adib Sani is a security analyst who joins us for more on this. Grateful for your time this afternoon, Mr. Sani. Now, 3 persons unfortunately lost their lives and several others were injured after a violent clash during the sprinkling of Kpone. The police just made reference to that in the 2025 Homowo celebrations in Teshi. There are many cases as well regarding the firing of musketry and people losing their lives. What do you make of this warning by the Tema Regional Police Command?
Well, thank you for having me. First of all, let me congratulate the Tema Police Regional Command. What they are doing is great progressive policing. The fact that they've been able to recognize the threats and are taking practical steps, including education, to prevent it from reoccurring, I think is a giant step in the right direction. Last year, we had similar clashes in Suutum. So an individual was killed. As we speak, there are about 14 communities within the Ga Kingdom that is not able to celebrate Homowo because there are chieftaincy disputes, with 2 or more parties claiming the throne. The police has recognized that, and I think that this press briefing is a step in the right direction in appealing to the conscience of the people to recognize that there is no militarized solution to any problem. And it's not in the place of the police to say you are right or you are wrong. If you feel wronged, what you have to do is to follow the law. And I think the police has done a great work in educating people. They've been to churches, they've been to mosques, they've been to community centers. And you see, interestingly, I, for a better part of my teenage years, was in Tema. Tema over the years has become a melting pot of activities and of people from all across the country and even beyond. And because of the changing nature of the area, issues of security has also become very complex. And one of the major challenges we've had to contend with over the years is these chieftaincy and land disputes, which is synonymous with the national average, because according to the Peace Council, there are well over 350 unresolved chieftaincy and land disputes. And there's also a correlation between drug peddlers and land guards, because mostly if there is a chieftaincy dispute, what they do is to recruit these militants, mostly drug peddlers, mostly land guards, to come and cause havoc in, let's say, community B.
Right.
But they came from community A. So what it means is you might see them, but you wouldn't know where they came from. So police has recognized all that, and I'm sure they are doing their best to prevent what happened last year from happening again.
Clearly, you've highlighted the undercurrent of these violence we see during the celebrations, presupposing that the celebrations in themselves are not what is causing the violence. Do you think the police has done well as well in dealing with the real issues that cause these confrontations leading to deaths and injuries?
Well, I think to a very large extent, the police has done well, and a lot still needs to be done. But I've always indicated that the police alone cannot do it. I mean, it needs the support of the people. It needs the support of the political stakeholders, and of course also the judiciary, because some of these cases are pending in court for years on end. So if we are able to bring finality to it in a competent sort of jurisdiction, you empower the police to be able to take certain decisive actions based on the law. But if it pends for a very long time, it makes the position of the police very difficult. And people would also have to understand that the police is there for them to ensure their safety, okay? They also have families they could have spent time with. That is why it is imperative to share critical information with the police before it happens. And I'm particularly excited about this because I've always indicated that policing in Ghana or perhaps Africa in the past has been so reactive. I mean, we react after the mess has been caused. But now we are redefining policing by ensuring that we put in place the necessary safeguards to prevent some of these things from happening. So we are able to prevent it. And I think what is going on in Tema is that step in the right direction in preventing people from losing their lives.
So if I get you clearly, beyond what the police has urged the people to refrain from, you are confident that since last year and now, a lot of progress has been made in trying to resolve the issues that led to the violence.
Absolutely.
Right.
And believe it or not, there's been engagements ongoing also with the traditional authority to get them to understand that we're a country that is governed by the rule of law. So if you are disgruntled, rather than pick up arms, you resort to the courts.
Grateful for your time this afternoon. That's Adib Sani, a security analyst, sharing his thoughts with us on the Tema Regional Police Command's call to residents as they prepare to celebrate the Homowo to avoid anything that leads to violence. Away from that, the NPP says Ghana crossed the $1 trillion cedi mark under its watch. The NDC says it took the economy beyond $100 billion and into Africa's top 8. So who truly deserves credit, and is Ghana really in Africa's 8 largest economies? Wisdom Safo follows the numbers and delivers a verdict.
Delivering the 2026 mid-year budget review, Finance Minister Dr. Kesala Toforsen said Ghana's economy had crossed the $100 billion mark and became the 8th largest economy in Africa.
For the first time in our nation's history, the size of Ghana's economy exceeded $100 billion, firmly establishing Ghana as a major emerging market economy. It is therefore not surprising that Ghana is now recognized as the 8th largest economy in Africa.
This triggered a response from the minority, with Ofasi Arabi NP Kojo Oponkroma
questioning the government's attempt to take credit for the milestone.
The minister also looked the people of Ghana in the face and told us that this is the first time that the Ghanaian economy has hit about $100 billion. Literally, if you do the conversion, about 1 trillion Ghana cedis. In 2024, we went past that mark. Yes. We went past 1 trillion in 2024. Yes. Why would you look the people of Ghana in the face and tell us this blatant untruth? It is because they are hoping that you will forget the figures. But we on this side of the house, we pay attention to the details.
Was it the NPP or the NDC that took Ghana's economy beyond the $100 billion mark? And is Ghana truly Africa's 8th largest economy? The political disagreement begins with two figures that are being treated as though they mean the same thing. But 1 trillion Ghana cedis is not equal to $100 billion. The dollar value depends heavily on the exchange rate used for the conversion. Official figures in the 2026 budget put Ghana's nominal GDP at approximately 1.176 trillion Ghana cedis in 2024, the NPP's final full year in office. This confirms that Ghana crossed the trillion cedi mark under the NPP. However, according to the World Bank, Ghana's economy was worth only about $82.31 billion in 2024. So, although the economy had crossed 1 trillion Ghana cedis, it had not crossed $100 billion. In 2025, the World Bank valued the economy at $114.21 billion. This means that the $100 billion threshold was crossed in the 2025 data during the first year of the NDC administration. The difference is explained partly by the exchange rate. The implied annual conversion rate was about 14.29 cedis to the dollar in 2024, compared with approximately 12.40 cedis to the dollar in 2025. The stronger cedi significantly increased the dollar value of Ghana's economy. But is Ghana really Africa's 8th largest economy? Ghana ranks 8th under the IMF's latest estimate for the completed 2025 year. However, under the fund's 2026 projection, Ghana ranks 10th. The 8th place claim is therefore accurate only when the year and data sets being referenced are clearly stated. It applies to IMF estimate for 2025, not its projection for 2026. So, both parties have parts of the truth, but neither can credibly claim the entire achievement. The NPP presided over Ghana crossing the 1 trillion Ghana cedis mark in nominal GDP. The NDC presided over the year in which Ghana's economy crossed $100 billion, helped significantly by the stronger exchange rate. And while Ghana ranked 8th in Africa, based on IMF's 2025 estimates, it is projected to rank 10th in 2026.
Tobacco and excessive alcohol consumption continue to fuel preventable diseases, placing an enormous burden on families and Ghana's healthcare system. As government rolls out new excise duty reforms aimed at discouraging the use of harmful products, health advocates say taxation alone will not be enough.
Every puff of tobacco and every excessive intake of alcohol carry a cost that goes far beyond the individual consumer. It is a cost borne by families, the health system, and the country's economy. Although Ghana has made significant progress in reducing tobacco use through years of tobacco control measures, health advocates say the fight is far from over, particularly as new products continue to emerge and non-communicable diseases remain on the rise. Speaking at a stakeholder meeting on advancing tobacco taxation for improved public health in Ghana, Executive Director of Vision for Accelerated Sustainable Development, VAST Ghana, and National Coordinator of the NCD Alliance Ghana, Labram Musa, said one of the most effective ways to prevent these diseases is to make harmful products less affordable through taxation.
Evidence showed that even the industry fears, taxing of products, right? And it reduces the extent to which people are exposed to tobacco use. When they eventually get these diseases, in fact, there's nobody to take care of them. They go to the hospital, National Insurance is unable to, take them through the treatment cycle because cancers are not, within National Insurance scheme. So the idea is that how do we ensure that we continue to protect our children, young people, women, and then also the vulnerable.
The discussion comes at a time when the government is proposing changes to Ghana's excise duty laws, including a new hybrid tax system for alcoholic beverages and the removal of the 20% excise duty on locally manufactured fruit juices.
I mean, it will help in advancing or ensuring that people shift away from the fizzy carbonated energy drinks to a more healthier option. Do we have the mechanism to ensure that the industry will not manipulate the system, and yet have products that have high in sugar and then also high in other additives? This is our concern. We think that the Ministry of Finance should work closely with the Ministry of Health, because this is a health matter, especially when they want to define fruit juices, so at least we know that all the criteria are being met.
One concern is the availability of electronic tobacco products on the Ghanaian market, despite restrictions on their importation. Assistant Commissioner and Head of the Research Unit at the Ghana Revenue Authority (GRA), Dr. Ales Combat, says engagements are already ongoing to address the challenge.
The electronic cigarettes are not allowed into the country according to FDA. But what we realized was that people were importing them, and we couldn't let them go without paying any tax on them. So we also decided to impose the tax. They've written officially to GRA, where we have started meeting to actually agree on whether we should let it remain as a banned product or we should allow them to come into the country and then we impose the taxes on them.
Beyond identifying the gaps, Dr. Alex Combat also outlined recommendations he believes can strengthen the implementation of Ghana's excise duty reforms.
We should impose the tax based on sugar content one and then alcohol content. It is very good. That will be more impactful. It will have effect on the consumption and production of the products. And then the second one will be we should earmark some of the excise tax revenue for health programs. So that will be very good for us.
Because behind every statistic on tobacco use and harmful alcohol consumption is a person, a family, and a healthcare system carrying the burden. For health advocates, the real impact of these reforms will be seen not in figures, on paper, but in healthy choices. Safwa Boyne, TV3 News, Accra.
Let's bring you some more stories now on Weekend Central. The Ministry of Energy and Green Transition has launched a rural electrification drive to connect 159 communities in the Savannah region by the end of 2026. This is under government's Big Push infrastructure program. Launched by Deputy Minister for Energy and Green Transition Richard Jan Mensah, the project, when completed, is expected to boost economic growth, improve healthcare, upgrade education, and strengthen local security. The project simultaneously hooked up 8 initial communities in the West Gonja municipality. Let's go to the Savannah region now. Our correspondent Christopher Amwako has more on this. Christopher, tell us how the communities are reacting to this news.
Yes, the residents in these beneficiary communities are very happy because if you look at the Solatuna Kalba district of the Savannah region, the district coverage of electrification is just about 30 to 40%. And so this new intervention by the ministry is going to help more communities to be hooked onto the national grid. If you go to the Central Gonja district as well as the Northeast Gonja district, the electrification penetration is also equally very low. And so these projects coming in at this particular time is going to help these communities also get connected to the national grid. And this will help improve their livelihoods when it comes to the economic expansion of their work that they do. You also talk about education and health. Let's take a listen to what some of the community members have actually been telling us.
We are so happy that they've come to commission the light for us. I think it will go a long way to serve the community. And in terms of health, it's going to help us to deliver quality of healthcare to the people. I think initially when the light wasn't here, we'll get labor cases in the night and you have to conduct deliveries with torchlights. So with this light, it will enhance our service delivery. So I think it is very, very commendable and laudable that the light has been commissioned for us.
Do you recount when something happened because you didn't have electricity?
There hasn't been any instance where we lost a baby or any thing of that sort. The only issue is that there are some times it's middle of the night and we can't conduct the labor. We need to refer them to the hospital, so they have to go to the hospital.
Christopher, briefly tell us what the ministry has been saying about timelines.
Yes, so the ministry believes that this project, 159 of them, are going to take some 6 months grace period. And so they are hopeful that by the end of this year, 2026, these communities that have been earmarked should benefit from this program. They are also hopeful that immediately after this program, they are going to roll out more programs to connect other communities so that in line with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, Ghana, no community will be left behind. Let's take a listen to what the Deputy Minister for Energy and Green Transition has been telling us.
I've joined my senior colleague, the regional minister, and then also we came to meet the overlord of the Gonja traditional area to officially launch the turnkey project under the Rural Electrification Intensification Program. This project is actually covering about 107 communities, but that is not the end. We also have about 52 projects which is currently ongoing. And even today, as we speak, we're also going to commission another 8 projects which has already been completed. We also have the mini grid project for the island communities around, and also working with MPs and then MMDCs. Also, we have another project called the SHIP, the self-help project, where we call the cost sharing. So when we put all this together, we are ranging somewhere around over 200 communities. However, for this specific project, it is 107, because the government is targeting 4 key regions for the first phase of the big push under the electrification project. So I wouldn't say that we are ending just with the 159 communities, because we know there are several communities within the Savannah areas which needs to be connected. And as the regional minister said, and as I also pointed out, that we say that water is life. But truly, it's also come to light that even in creation, God said there should be light, and then where there is light, there is life. So we actually assume electricity connectivity to everywhere as giving life to the people, and that will also propel the needed developments that we need for either in education, in job creation, in investment, or even in our agri-processing. These are all things that we need electricity to propel it.
And that's the Deputy Energy Minister there. Thank you so much, Christopher, joining us all the way from the Savannah region. Let's focus on roads now. As residents in the Kpone Katamanso constituency in the Greater Accra region say years of poor road conditions, now worsened by rains, making travel increasingly difficult. Drivers complain of frequent vehicle repairs, while passengers say finding transport has become a real struggle. Safwa Bwine reports.
You don't need to look outside to know the condition of this road. Every jolt, every sudden brake, and every screech of the vehicle tells this story. For the passengers in this car, as you can see, it is not just about an uncomfortable ride, but a daily reality. The ride itself tells this story. Along several roads within the Kpone Katamanso constituency, deep potholes, thick dust, loose rocks, and uneven surfaces have turned what should be routine journeys into difficult experiences for both drivers and passengers. For commercial drivers, every trip comes at a cost.
This road has been a problem for years. We've been expecting it to be fixed since 2004, but it never happened. Now that the work on the drains have started, we are hoping things get better. From the barrier to the gate is less than a 5-minute drive, but the road is so bad, especially during the rains, that we have no choice but to increase transport fares. Passengers are suffering. We drivers sometimes contribute to fill the potholes ourselves, but the drains wash everything away. Many of our vehicles are at the mechanics because of these roads.
So many cars, it's more than so many cars, but shop because of the road.
Back inside the vehicle, the conversation continues.
I work at Boost Depot.
Okay, Depot.
Yeah.
Right. So that means that you've been using the road for quite some time.
More than 15 years. The road now, first we are paying 5 cedis because the bad road. Now we are paying 10. Sometimes rainfall, they will take you 20 or 10 cedis, or 15. It's very bad because this district we have more depot, more than 10 depots at the district.
Says you can spend the bosome our transportation require 1,000 cedis.
I spend 1,000 a month on transport. The road is so bad that despite my age, I've developed waist pain from the constant shaking. It's also destroying the vehicles we rely on.
It's not easy because sometimes because of this road, we find it difficult to get a car to report to work on time, and it's really affecting us.
The fare, they have to increase it because of the situation of the road. We don't understand, but they also have their reasons for that. Honestly, it's really difficult with the body pain because of the road and all that. And the fare, you have to, your daily expenses increase overly.
I'm a driver, so I understand why transport fares go up. Flooded roads damage our engines and shock absorbers. And sometimes vehicles break down, forcing passengers to get down and push. Even during the dry season, the dust is unbearable.
Yes, we are forced to get down.
I am supposed to be at work by 7 a.m. But because of the bad road, I sometimes don't get there until 8 or 9. After waiting so long for a car, how can someone keep their job like this?
But it is not only motorists feeling the impact. For traders who spend their days by the roadside, the dangerous maneuvers have become an everyday sight as sales continue to decline.
I've been here for quite a period of time now, over 3 years. And the state of the road is very bad. I mean, I'm to coconut. We sell the fresh coconut and also we bottle the coconut water. And most of our customers, they are not even around here. Most of them come from Tema. But because of the nature of the road, they don't supply the road. So sometimes sales is very, very low.
Municipal Chief Executive Samuel Tetekoshi acknowledges the challenges.
Recently, we found favor with the presidency and then the sector minister. So we have a little above 5 contractors within the municipality. And roads that are seriously receiving attention includes the Kpone Road, the Kpone Barrier, through the Kpone Township, through the beachfront, that will also serve as another access linking Dungo Pampram, and then the one from Calypso to the Michelle Camp Gate, which will also go through Afotiago stretch, through Terranabout, and also link up with the motorway at the TT Brothers traffic light. I know they are all operating within 24 months. If all things go well, within 24 months, we should see either the asphalted surface or a bitumen surface.
He says while the recent rains have worsened the situation, they are not solely responsible for the deteriorating state of the roads.
Most of the roads were already bad. Yes, very, very bad. Most of the drains are also seated. The other places, they are roads, but we don't have drains around them. And those were those places where we have serious road challenges now. If either proper maintenance has been done, proper care has been taken with regards to the road network, we wouldn't have gotten to this stage. So we cannot entirely blame it on the recent rains neither can we also blame it entirely on the constructions ongoing. It's a complicated one.
This has been a very interactive and interesting conversation amongst the passengers, drivers, speaking to residents and people who have life here at Kpone Katamanso. You realize that road infrastructure revolves around the life of people, and if the road infrastructure is as bad as we have seen, it goes a long way to affect a lot of people and the way they live life. And they are hoping that things will change for the better. We will be here, we will come again, and we will cover and see if things truly have become better. Safa Boyne, TV3 News, Kpone Katamanso constituency.
And here at our studios at Desawe Kanda in Accra, I am Bernice Abubeidulansa. This is Weekend Central. We'll be back with more stories right after these.
Hello? I understand your mom already.
Oh,
Former spokesperson on governance, Dr. Paul Boachidankwa, and counter-terrorism and security analyst Emmanuel Kpone have petitioned the International Criminal Court to open a preliminary investigation into attacks against Africans in South Africa.
The petition, the receipt of which has since been confirmed by the Secretariat of the International Criminal Court, is among other things calling for the summoning and questioning of President Cyril Ramaphosa and other relevant state officials to determine the extent of command responsibility. The petitioners are also calling for a formal investigation if there is a reasonable basis to believe that crimes within the court's jurisdiction have been committed. Emmanuel Kpone, one of the petitioners, maintains that President Ramaphosa has been toothless in dealing with the issue due to political considerations.
Ramaphosa grew up in Ghana, so he should be the last person to allow citizens of South Africa to treat other African immigrants the way they did. Are you sure if we had treated him that way in Ghana, he would have had the education he had, that he went to business and now he's the South African president? So I feel that the South African government led by Cyril Ramaphosa have failed. And they are quiet because he's thinking about winning the next elections. He's thinking about going for the next elections. And he dare not speak about it because it's a very contentious issue in South Africa.
Reacting to the petition, international relations expert Dr. Yao Jebe noted that despite the apparent growing strain in relationships between the two countries, Ghana's government must see the petition through.
Recently, South African government pursued the government of Israel, the president and the defense minister to the same International Criminal Court. So they can do it to other people, but they are not ready to face the consequences of their inactions and actions. So I think that the government of Ghana should actually take this issue seriously. And luckily for us, South Africa is a signatory to the International Criminal Court. Ghana is also a signatory. Ghana can pursue it to whatever, extreme it can to make sure that justice prevails.
But South Africa's government maintains that the petition to the International Criminal Court is premature and has described it as opportunistic. It remains to be seen whether the International Criminal Court will take up the petition and grant the release being sought by the petitioners. Lodi Dwasari, TV3 News, Accra.
Away from international relations matters, the Asantehene Otumfuo Osei-Tutu II has urged the Minister of Health, Kpone Katamanso, to protect the confidence reposed in him by President Mahama and use his tenure to leave a lasting legacy in Ghana's healthcare sector. The Otumfuo cautioned against the politicization and abandonment of development projects, stressing the need for continuity, accountability, and proper maintenance of health infrastructure and equipment.
The call was made when the Minister of Health and the Administrator of Ghana Medical Trust Fund paid a visit to the Asantehene at the Menchia Palace. Kpone Katamanso outlined 3 key pillars underpinning the government healthcare agenda: primary healthcare, the National Health Insurance Scheme, and the Ghana Medical Trust Fund.
Universal health coverage. As it's say Omayimu, baby, I will be say we are Otumfuo chairman. So here in Lankasa. Now one of those. You can say Sikasemunti unya quality healthcare. You can say baby, I want unya quality healthcare. The Savannah morning year too.
The minister said government is also investing in specialized equipment, including cardiac catheterization laboratories, to expand access to critical cardiovascular care. He announced plans to complete selected Agenda 111 hospital projects.
You are spending 4.8 billion Ghana cedis and so back anywhere you like you see for 10 and 20 boni ye near tea and suffering one and can ye. Until Mampania instructed me say, you have 35 not on my no emphasis near TSM film. The 35 in the concentrate trade ekahon for recruit so ediano ekahon.
The minister reaffirmed the government commitment to complete and make Sewia Hospital operational. For the Asantehene, however, the responsibility of managing Ghana's healthcare system goes beyond building hospitals and procuring equipment. He said it is about protecting public resources, delivering quality healthcare, and creating a legacy that future government can build upon. The Asantehene further urged the minister and all stakeholders in the health sector to work together and ensure that no Ghanaian loses their life needlessly from preventable or treatable conditions. The minister and the administrator of the Ghana Medical Trust Fund later inspected progress of work for a catheterization center at the Komfo Teaching Hospital.
You're watching the Midday Central here on Weekend Central, I beg your pardon, on TV3. We'll be back with more stories Tuesday.
Best part of going home is family.
Sit up! Hey, mommy, my wife is cooking something delicious. Where are you?
Hot pepper sauce, spicy.
Lizzie Shito, the Shito is Shito. Lizzie Shito, over
Lizzie Shito, please, can I take some to school tomorrow?
Yes, my son, you can. Lizzie Shito, dear. Ebesu obiasu.
Lizzie Shito hot pepper sauce. Yes, spicy and
Lizzie Shito hot pepper sauce. Spicy.
For bulk purchase, kindly contact 050-168-3344 or 050-155-0998. This advert is FDA approved.
Before the timelines, before the algorithms, there was pure human craft. Ideas were drawn by hand, refined by instinct, and brought to life with grit. And on the world stages, Ghana's advertising creatives found their spotlight. Today, creativity moves at the speed of imagination. From concepts to campaigns, in moments, insight to impact instantly. A new generation of advertisers is rising, blending culture, technology, and creativity like never before. Join us as we celebrate the synergy of human creativity and artificial intelligence at the 2026 Gong Gong Awards, where code meets craft on the 22nd of August 2026. Venue Omanyeho, Labadi Beach Hotel. Time is 6
Abubeidou Lansa, thank you for staying on. Now, a 4-year research project involving 6 health facilities in Kumasi has improved access to essential sickle cell treatment. The project has also helped reduce waiting times for patients and tackle stigma through community education.
For years, access to essential sickle cell medication has remained a challenge for many patients across sub-Saharan Africa.
The use of hydroxyurea, the use of penicillin prophylaxis, and then blood transfusion. These 3 things are evidence-based things that are used in the management of sickle cell disease the world over. Unfortunately, in sub-Saharan Africa, there is a gap that patients who have to get treatment for sickle cell disease most times do not get it.
But a 4-year research project involving 6 health facilities in Kumasi is demonstrating how practical, locally driven solutions can help bridge the gap. The project, led by the Liverpool School of Tropical Medicine in the United Kingdom, brought together institutions from Ghana, Nigeria, Zambia, the United Kingdom, and the United States. Professor Alex Osei-Akoto, a pediatrician and sickle cell specialist at the Komfanochi Teaching Hospital, spoke about the progress at the steady protocol participatory approaches to support patient-centered sickle cell disease management in African Conference in Kumasi.
One thing that is striking is that apart from Komfanochi Teaching Hospital, which was offering hydroxyurea to its patients, all the 5 other health facilities did not have. With this program in place, the SBA teams and the PAC teams have come up with solutions such that as we speak, all the facilities have access to penicillin, they have access to hydroxyurea, which is catered for by the National Health Insurance Scheme.
The intervention, according to health officials, has helped reduce the time patients spend waiting for care.
As the project comes to an end, we expect that these institutions will carry on with these things to help the patients in terms of accessibility and assessing these medications for their use.
Researchers say the improvements have been achieved without much financial investment, raising hopes that the model can be sustained and replicated in other parts of the country. They say the ultimate goal is to ensure that where a person lives does not determine whether they can access essential sickle cell care.
Let's focus on education now. Authorities at Leklebi Senior High School in the Afadjato South District of the Volta region say they're facing an accommodation crisis after a fire incident on Tuesday destroyed 3 rooms in the boys' dormitory. With first-year students expected in September, they say there'll be a struggle to accommodate them unless urgent support is provided.
In the late afternoon of Tuesday, an unexplained fire engulfed the first floor of the boys' dormitory at the Leklebi Senior High School. By the time firefighters brought the blaze under control, 3 rooms had been ravaged. Several personal belongings of the senior housemaster, who occupied one of the rooms, were completely burnt.
It was so bad that the students were intervening, even though it was not effective. So quickly, I called the DC, who already called the fire service from Homowo, because we don't have fire tender here. So it took us about 1 hour, 9 minutes for the fire service from Homowo to reach here. In fact, apart from one of the rooms that we were able to salvage some of the things like mattresses and other things, the other 2 rooms, everything burned, condemned.
The fire started from the apartment of the housemaster and then spread to the other 2 rooms. For the staff, we could see that all his items were destroyed.
All 3 rooms have developed structural defects and are now unfit for habitation, compounding the school's already dire infrastructure problems.
Already, Leklebi Senior High School, we have infrastructure deficit. What it means is that we are struggling with a facility to house even the house staff, and also students accommodation for classrooms. So now that this has happened to us, I think it is...
With new students expected in September, authorities are appealing for urgent intervention to help renovate the affected facility.
Usually the third years occupy the top floor. So what will be happening is that, very soon we'll be taking in the first year student in September. So we'll be challenged with accommodation. Another thing is that we'll be finding it difficult to house a house master over here to monitor the student. Here we don't have bungalows for teachers. Not even a single one for any teacher. It's only the headmaster who is on campus. So we have to arrange for one of the rooms to be given to a house parent.
Meanwhile, investigations into the cause of the fire are ongoing. Faisal Abdul Idrisu, TV3 News.
Well, that'll be all for this edition of the Weekend Central here on TV3 Ghana with me, Bernice Abubeidu Lanza. Really appreciate your company. Kindly log on to 3 News for more news updates, or you can follow us on all our